Fellas, I have some pretty good news. Vote kicking is coming to Arsenal, and I think cheaters are going to get nay-nayed pretty hard. Recently, a rolve dev known as Midnight Crystal tweeted out this mock-up for the vote kick option in Arsenal, meaning that this is what it could look like. It's an example, it's not the final form. But if we take a look at the first screenshot, it says here, vote kick, you choose the player and you choose the reason. They are pre-selected for you. You do not type out the reason, it looks like, and it has a big giant notice saying, vote kick is used to remove exploiters from the server and should be used for this purpose and this purpose alone. Abusing the vote kick system can and will lead to temporary removal of your vote kicking capabilities. Make sure you are completely sure that the user you are kicking is cheating, and then it says over here kick with a question mark, and the vote screen looks a little something like this, where it says kick, username, reason, and then there's one of the reasons, and it's yes or no. You press 4 or 5 on your keyboard. For mobile players, you most likely just tap on it or something like that. And if the yes outweighs the no's, congratulations, the player gets kicked out. This is really cool because cheaters have always been a problem on ROBLOX, but it's so bad in the first-person shooter section. I'm not going to sit here and cry at rolve saying that their anti-cheat sucks, because I think they did the best of what they could. And really, it should be ROBLOX preventing these type of cheats occurring in the first place, or making it extremely hard to do when it's actually pretty easy. However, it does mean that new problems arise from the vote kicking. It's not a completely new idea to rolve. On Typical Colors 2, vote kicking does exist in that game, and it is used appropriately for the most time, but there is always going to be people who misuse it. I remember actually making a video where people, mostly the toxic high ranks, would unironically follow me through servers and vote kick me out as soon as I joined their team, just because they didn't like me. Actually, today in Arsenal 2, I was recording on this account you're seeing right now, and within the first 30 seconds of me playing the game, I was already getting called a hacker just because I was playing decent at the game. To be fair, it did look like a throwaway account, and typically most of these cheaters, they will use these bacon hair accounts or something like that and just start mass cheating or using aimbot. Those are the two most common reasons of why vote kicking is frowned upon. You got the people who go out of their way to harass you with the vote kicking because they just don't like you, and then you got the people who don't mean to harass you, but they genuinely thought you were cheating just because you were playing good at the game. And with Arsenal, I can guarantee you, every time I played on a fresh new account that I made, I was called a hacker at least once every single time. So those are really the two big cons of that, but the biggest pro is kicking cheaters and not letting them ruin the server completely. And I personally think that the pros outweigh the cons. Rolve does have a set amount of game mods, and I think they all ban cheaters very well. But even if you have good people as good mods and actually do bans, it doesn't really matter, because in the end, the cheater could just make another free account and repeat that exact same process at exactly no cost. So banning towards these throwaway accounts is very useless just because they can get it right back in within seconds. So vote kicking is a really good call because there doesn't need to be a one player present. It could be anyone that can set the call, and then the majority of the server votes yes if it's an obvious cheater. But there should be some sort of restriction on who and who cannot call the vote to kick players out, because it could be easily misused. Rank locking is a pretty good first step towards doing that, making it so the lower ranks, who are more easily to say this guy is cheating compared to the higher ranks, that'll help out to prevent that a lot. Level 50 or above sounds great. I personally think a level 100 or above, because a lot of players do have that badge, but 50 is also a pretty good rank, I would say, and it's not that hard at all to get. But that still lies the issue of more so toxic players, and there's a fair share amount of toxic high ranks, and I think a great way to counter that would be some sort of karma system. What I mean by that is every player has 1,000 points or something in karma. If your votes fell, the karma gets lowered. If it gets past a certain number, let's say 600, you can no longer vote kick for a short amount of time, like for 10 hours to a day. You can gain back karma by just playing the game, or gain it a lot by doing correct votes, and the game will reward you with more karma points, up to 1,200 or something like that. Also, in the notice section, it said that abusing the vote kick system can and will lead to temporary removal of your vote kicking capabilities. So if there is a good guy with a lot of karma and decides that he wants to harass this one player and false vote kicks him, perhaps a game mod can review that and then remove his ability to vote kick for a certain amount of time. Speaking of ways to counteract vote kick abusers, there's also a cooldown in the screen, and I actually do not agree with this, and I think it should be removed. If the karma system is in place, there's no reason for a cooldown, and I think cooldowns in general are dumb, because let's say you are the only high rank and there are 2 cheaters in the server. You can't do anything to the second cheater because you already vote kicked the first one out. Or let's say you vote kick a cheater, 3 minutes later in that same server, you're still in the cooldown, but another cheater joins your server and you still can't do anything about it. You just simply leave the server and the L process is repeated. It's like as if vote kick didn't exist. The only reason why I see cooldown being a good idea is if the vote fails and there's a 20-minute cooldown or something like that, so you don't just spam it on the same person. That right there sounds great, but if it applies to even a successful kick, that is dumb. But overall, I think the vote kicking thing is a great idea for the game. We seriously need this. We don't want it, we need something like this. Because game mods, even if you have some really good ones, there's just so many cheaters and they're going to come right back with a brand new account. While vote kicking not only takes time off the mods, but it also ruins the cheaters' experience and they're less likely to do it again in the future. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. Again, this is really cool. I hope it comes out this Summer 3 update. I'm not sure if it's going to come out in that same time frame, but I really hope for some time within this year. Shout out to all my Take members, and shout out to Deathless, Lucky, Monkey E, Nameless, Psychobug, and you, SSR Mayor, for becoming super big boys. Really appreciate the support, and as always, have a good day.